now and probably make you want to shower, because we're going to talk about bed bugs. We're being told that the number of them is on the rise. It's because of the long hot weather, and obviously we've got rain this morning. David Cain is managing director of Bed Bugs Limited, who are specialists in bed bug exterminating.
They've been growing up as a problem year on year for about the last 15 to 20 years. So they used to be a very, very rare pest during the 70s through to the late 90s, and now they've been a global resurgence phenomenon.
And when you say bed bugs, I mean, whenever I think of them, I think of kind of thousands in a mattress. Is that what it is?
Well, for a start, it's not inside the mattress. So if you're thinking thousands, you're getting confused with dust mites, which are the microscopic ones you can't see. Now, bed bugs, their Latin name is Cimex lectularius. They're visible to the human eye. When they hatch out of an egg, they're about 2 millimetres, and the largest adults, when fully fed, are about 15 millimetres long.
Wow, I mean, I'm itching as you speak, just because of paranoia. So you can actually see them, can you?
Oh, completely visible with the human eye, and part of the problem is that what we used to do back in the Victorian days of dismantling our beds and looking and checking, well, that was all about controlling the problem. And we've forgotten to do that as part of modern society because bedbugs weren't around for a long time. We've all got out of the habits, and that's given kind of a niche for the bedbug to develop and come back into society.
And why the hot weather? Why does that bring it back?
Well, insects, their reproductive cycle is very much dictated by temperature. The warmer it is, the faster they breed. So people may have noticed an increase in flies and particularly fruit flies and things like that in homes. Well, exactly the same thing happens with bedbugs. So the period of time it takes for a laid egg to hatch is generally considered to be about 14 days. But when you elevate the temperature to what we had in the heatwave conditions, you reduce that down to 7 days.
And they love a bit of blood, do they?
Well, they come out, they feed exclusively on human blood, so they will come out of their hiding places, stick their little needle into you, withdraw a couple of microlitres of blood, and scurry back into their hiding places.
Wow. I mean, the way you talk about them, David, it's almost like you like them.
Well, I'm kind of lucky. This is my second career in life. I had a big passion for my first one. And
which was?
Molecular biology.
Okay, right, okay.
So if you imagine having that ability to be fascinated by something that everyone else runs screaming from, that's kind of what initially drew me to bedbugs. And the more you study them and the more you drill into the detail, the more evolved and fascinating they are as a species.
And they're known as bedbugs because they're commonly found in beds. But I mean, can you get them on sofas and all sorts?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We find bedbugs anywhere that people spend long periods of time stationary. So seats in your own home, seats on public transport, seats and furniture in offices, cinemas, medical facilities. There have even been some famous cases in New York of kidney dialysis units having ingrained problems with bedbugs.
Wow. So you've been doing this for a while now, trying to get rid of bedbugs. Give me the worst scenarios that you've found, the worst places that you've been to where you've seen bedbugs.
I'm not 100% certain that your listeners will appreciate that one, but the worst case that's been documented by academics was a case of ours in West London, and a gentleman was living quite happily, coexisting with approximately 120,000 bedbugs. Now, his neighbours weren't happy with the problem, and they were the ones that rang us and said, "We keep getting bedbugs again, we don't understand what's going on." And they gave me enough information that I was able to say, "I'm pretty certain one of your neighbours has bedbugs." When they knocked on the door, quite frankly, there was not a square foot of wall or floor or surface in the property that didn't have at least one bedbug sitting inside it.
Oh, which really makes you itch, doesn't it? That's David Cain, who is Managing Director of Bed Bugs Limited. He's been an expert on bed bugs for about 15 years, which would make him an interesting dinner party guest, in my mind. If you were still in bed a few minutes ago, I expect you've jumped out now, haven't you?